So, you're searching for the subject of your next stream?
Maybe.
Look no further. We've collated a bunch of games that are bound to captivate your viewers on Twitch. Whether through audience participation or sheer absurdist comedy, these classics are just as fun to watch as they are to play.
Ah, Outlaws, I assume. Do me a favor and let me finish this, will you? And then make it quick, please.
Let's start with something silly. Dodgy physics has been the basics for slapstick comedy in games for decades, and no game leans into that better than Octodad. You play as an octopus desperately trying to go unnoticed in human society, despite being, let's say, physically unsuited to it.
Oh, you're finally up. Nice to see you, sleepyhead.
Between your tentacles, the most simple tasks become comically difficult. Going shopping for groceries, taking the kids to the aquarium, even just making coffee. They're all a recipe for flailing disaster. Poor Octodad stands to lose everything if his true nature comes out. But even if he's not laughing, your audience will be.
Anyway, I have a surprise for the whole family. A free trip to the aquarium!
There are similar daft thrills to be found in Untitled Goose game. Although this time they're not at the expense of the protagonist. Instead, it's the poor terrorised villagers who provide the punchlines. It starts small. You'll begin by stealing sandwiches from picnics. Standard horrible goose behaviour. Soon enough though, you'll be messing with shoelaces to trip up your targets before stealing their glasses. Or plucking mail from their letterboxes, only to dunk it in the river. Best of all, this comedy harassment now comes in co-op, making it perfect for a crossover stream with another creator. Once you're all honked out, you might graduate to Hitman. It's certainly bloodier than Untitled Goose game, but you'd be surprised by how much they have in common. They're both stealth sandboxes, with an amazing capacity for comedic improvisation.
Carl Ingram finally gets what he deserves. Good riddance.
In Hitman, anything is a weapon. A hurled banana, a toy tank, a bust of a cowboy's head. So long as you can crack it over the bonds of your target, it's a job well done. Combine that foolishness with the range of disguises you can find for Agent 47.
Good work.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Kruger.
And you'll find you can keep a crowd endlessly entertained. This is a man who has dressed as a chicken and a scarecrow to pull off the perfect crime, without once cracking a smile.
Huh?
If you don't mind me saying so, your particular choice of attire is maybe a little, I don't know, off? For a job interview, I mean.
My suit is at the cleaners.
And you couldn't find anything else to wear?
Correct.
You must lead a very interesting life, my friend.
You have no idea.
For a comparable level of freedom, you'll want to shift to the RPG genre for Baldur's Gate 3. Here you can weaponize not just fruit and vegetables, but your defeated enemies. In fact, you've got the freedom to pick who your enemies are. And beyond that, you can even steer the direction of the entire story through your decisions. Share that decision-making process with your viewers, and suddenly you've got a collaborative stream on your hands.
Most excellent.
It doesn't hurt that Twitch viewers have a well-established fondness for Dungeons and Dragons.
A kindred spirit.
And to ensure your viewers hear you debating your next moves with utmost precision and clarity, then be sure to grab our Yeti GX Dynamic RGB gaming microphone, which rejects noise and key clicks, promising to deliver consistent high-quality audio whilst you stream.
Behold! Akabi's Wheel of Wonders. Spin! To win prizes beyond your tiny imagination and make your miserable life more bearable.
If you're looking for a less obvious RPG to stream, then you could do a lot worse than The Outer Worlds.
Well, I've heard stranger things.
Built by Obsidian and the designers of the original Fallout, it's full of meaningful choices to make alongside your audience.
Look at that. The snakes come back.
With enough effort and backstabbing, you can even betray the mad scientist who awakes you from the stasis at the beginning of the game.
Something wrong?
In a universe where mega corporations own practically everything, it can be cathartic to stick them in the eye. Or to roleplay as a middle manager and see how far you and your viewers can commit to being the bad guy.
Yes, well, I shan't. Give Wanda my chilliest regards. Don't mess with us!
Discover another sci-fi world in Detroit Become Human. Here, androids are smarter than people, and the imbalance threatens to tip society into chaos. Over the course of the adventure, you play as 3 different machines: a servant, a detective, and an activist. Between them, you'll choose a path through the game that belongs to you and your viewers. Trust us, Detroit isn't bluffing when it puts you in a life or death situation. Your audience will be screaming when you fail a quick-time event and get a protagonist permanently killed, ending their story right there and then. Not that we've ever been cack-headed enough to do that, and if we had, you couldn't prove it.
You are the one who will destroy Detroit!
If you get a taste for that kind of consequence, then the next natural step is the Quarry. This is basically a slasher movie made interactive.
Oh my god!
As night falls at summer camp, 9 teenagers find their party plans thwarted by the murderous locals. You play as each survivor and do your best to keep them alive till morning.
Okay. Alright. Just don't go too far, okay? Be careful.
Yeah. You can put the key questions to your viewers. Do we ignore the screams coming from the forest? And what about that trapdoor? Do we dare to find out what's beneath it? There's nothing that brings a community together like sheer dread.
What's down there?
Oh my god, Ryan, you will not believe this.
What?
It's nothing.
Oh,
I had you going there for a second, didn't I?
no. Maybe. Just shut up.
Last but not least is the Stanley Parable, a game that marries choices with comedy. You play an office drone who steps away from his desk to realise all his colleagues have disappeared.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
His day only gets stranger from there, depending on which corridors you and your audience pick to go down.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
A playthrough can end in minutes, but is different every time. Once you start fighting against the narrator and disobeying his instructions, you know you're playing a game designed to be broken, and your viewers will stick around to see the whole thing fall apart.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
With that, we'll leave you to get set up for your next stream. But if you ever needed more recommendations, don't hesitate to come back to Logitech G. Subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll be the first to know the next time we upload. See you then.
Just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant.